With the advent of AI taking over, you have Hollywood stars, directors, and writers coming out against it full force, but you at least have one actor who seems to be praising AI and want to use it to its full potential by de-aging him to a younger version, and that would be Sylvester Stallone wanting to use the AI technology to turn him into an 18-year-old Rambo to tell the prequel story of what exactly was Rambo like and how did he get changed and morphed into this serious commando with a lot of trauma from the Vietnam War. Well, Stallone goes into that process a little bit by explaining that everyone thought I was crazy. AI is sophisticated enough to go through the Saigon to see him at 18 years old and basically use the same image. So it isn't as big a stretch. That's true. From what we saw with the Indiana Jones latest film, Harrison Ford being de-aged was actually pretty great. From everything I heard, like that was the best part of the film. If they were just to cut the rest of the film off and just tell that short story of Harrison Ford being Indiana Jones once more, being de-aged, I heard everyone would love it. Unfortunately, the rest of the film wasn't so great because of all the modern datums that were shoved into it. And that's kind of my concern for this film. We'll get into that a little bit later, but we have a hint of something like that happening to this one. Now, with that said, unfortunately, they did pass on Sylvester Stallone being Rambo again this time. Apparently, there's a gentleman by the name of Noah Cinto is reportedly to set to play the character in Rambo's prequel film. Now, of another actor taking on one of his iconic characters, Stallone warned that's incredibly tough to take on an already originated role, similar to when he starred in the 2000 Get Carter remake. It's a very, very hard. He may do a stellar job, but you're overcoming this because I went through it with Get Carter. Everyone loves the original, and then you're always fighting that prejudice because there's that love for the original character. It's the same thing that we had with the gentleman who replaced Han Solo for the Han Solo film. That, yes, he wasn't bad. He looked pretty similar to Han Solo. I thought his acting was pretty okay. The story was just garbage, but I thought they had an okay Han Solo, but you just don't really match up to Harrison Ford all that easily because Harrison Ford, regardless of what your thoughts on him, he is one of the best A star or even S tier actors that have been out there. So the man is a star even in his late old age. So it's really hard to live up to that reputation when the standards are so high, especially when you do have a lackluster story around you. So I can't really blame the whole failure of Han Solo on him, but this film that he was in, it did suffer a bit because people were comparing the two, and he wasn't necessarily the best person to be playing Han Solo, if I can be completely honest here, as we're talking about the situation. Now, about the Rambo film, apparently there's been some inklings about this, some talks about this going behind the scenes all the way since 2022, with some interviews going on saying that it was getting closer, according to Sylvester Stallone. Unfortunately, he wasn't there on set directing it, giving his thought process about how the character should be acting and everything. The most that he said is what he wanted to do was, I think it's going to happen. I want to do it like Ken Burns' documentary on Vietnam, where you drop young Rambo in there and he's this outgoing football captain, and then you see why he becomes Rambo. But what they want to do is a modern day story where I pass the torch. That's getting closer. A modern day story. That's my biggest issue with this film. Right there, you already have me scared and almost have me lost completely. How many times do we have these Hollywood types coming out and say, we want to tell a modern day story. We want to, look for that modern audience, especially with a masculine character like Rambo. Are we going to just completely feminize him, have him turn out to be like, hey, he learned everything from this even more badass chick who was going through and just slaughtering the Viet Cong with nothing more than a pencil? Like, she was just so badass that Rambo himself, he had to just look at her like, wow, you're amazing. How can I be like you, lady? You can't. But you can at least be somewhat good. Now pick up that knife. I'll use this pencil and you see who wins this competition. Like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But I'm saying that's what we have seen in modern day films, that they just completely shite on the male action hero that masculine values don't really seem to be thinking in Hollywood anymore. So my concern is this part right here. Now, this is from a while ago, 2022, so this could be no longer something that's valid or even much of a concern anymore. It's just something that I want to bring up that I noticed when I was reading through this article that I thought was kind of interesting. Now, whether Stallone is right or not wanting to create an all AI film, that's to be yet to be decided. I think it actually could be great. I think you could do a fantastic job with Sylvester Stallone being AI created, but at that point, if you're doing AI, why don't you just make it as an animated movie and just have an animated film of Sylvester Stallone character John Rambo going to Vietnam and just telling that bloody story? Like, I don't quite understand why, if we're doing AI, why it has to be real life. I get the appeal to it, but I feel like if you're going to do a real life, it should be used sparingly. Like the majority of the time, the actors should be there. Whereas when you're creating like monsters like Gollum or dragons, then you throw in the AI. But I don't really know if you can call it a real life remake when your real life character is being completely reconstructed from the ground up with an older image of you. At that point, it's just a 3D cartoon in real life. But I don't feel like it's going to be completely authentic. So I am kind of glad to hear that they're going with a separate route than the AI version of Rambo. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that Sylvester Stallone should replace John Rambo in an AI remake? Are you happy that they're still doing a remake with someone by the name of Noah Centro, with him playing the character? Do you think it would do well, or are you concerned, like I am, with the term of a modern day story? I can't wait to hear what you guys' thoughts are down below. Leave a like if you liked the video, leave a dislike if you did not, and don't forget to subscribe. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and y'all take care now. Bye.